Oh wait, always beep beep check. Mic check 1 2. It's all good. We get zapped all the time here. Our mics are. It's actually rare that we get like a nice clean mic check right out of the gate. So no, you're good. 100 in my book. So I think
Cheers.
Rain just DM'd me. He said he's on his way. So we've got a couple people filtering in. And yeah, welcome, Cody. This is Space from the Deep. This is episode 18. I think it's episode 18. I'm starting to lose count. I got to start taking notes and make sure that I'm not misnumbering these episodes. But we keep it pretty fluid in these spaces, Cody. I think that Rain mentioned you wanted to roll through the conversation. Usually, kind of takes many turns. We talk about crypto. We talk about our project, Who is Ebert. We talk about life and love and the universe and all different sorts of things. So just wanted to give you a quick rundown on what you can expect. I'm not exactly sure what the overall theme of today should be, but we do have some stuff that we can talk about. Obviously, we've got some important announcements. We've got our contest winners to announce today. If you guys haven't seen, we've been running a backgrounds contest where basically we've charged our group to see if people can get creative using some of our new wallpapers featuring our new 3D art. And we've seen some pretty amazing submissions so far. We've been saving them, keeping an eye on the ones that we love. Although we love all of them, we do have to choose 3 winners, and we're going to do that probably like midway through the space today. We won't make you wait all the way until the end to know if you're going to win or not, but we do have those 3 Berts ready to rock and roll. I've got the rewards all set up. So we're going to do an equal split. We're going to do $111 in eBert for each of the 3 winners, and we'll announce that as we get into the space. So without further ado, I think that Cody, actually, maybe it's a good opportunity to just. I jumped over to your X profile. It's interesting. I'd love to maybe hear a little bit more about what Codyfight is, and what are these little robots? The artwork is amazing. Like what am I looking at here?
Yeah, we've been building. So yeah, probably I'll start with my name is Brudo G. I'm one of the founders behind Codyfight's wheel. So we've been building for almost 4 years, with a vision to blur the line between human and AIs. And we always thought about having, this give this ability for players, and especially for devs, to unleash their creativity and build, construct the bot they wanna play battles with. And yeah, you take, simple game as chess, add some steroids, add some robots in it, some crazy skills, and here you go. You have a pretty awesome game where uh, mm, casual players and AI agents can meet in one arena and have fun. So game seems to be quite simple, but once you start playing, you realize there's a lot of depth behind. The story goes, that the Earth has been destroyed multiple times, and we are far, far away in history, around 4,673 years. Yeah. Uh, and we're trying, from the remote planets, we're trying to rebuild life on Earth. And yeah, that's where humans are actually sending robots and humanoids to do that. But there are some evil things messing around, so first we have to clean them. So catch a evil Mr. Raya, who used to be a very good mathematician when he was young, and he managed to clone himself into a very, very angry pig. And now he's threatening the world, and he's gonna conquer everyone's mind, with this. So yeah,
Huh.
that's where the story goes.
I love it. I think it's really obvious and it's really clear that you and your team have put a lot of thought into not only the game itself and how the mechanisms of the game work, but also the lore behind it. And that's something that always gets me excited, just because you said that you've been working on this for 4 years, which is interesting. I've been working on the Who is Ebert kind of world for about 4 years. A lot of that was writing, and a lot of that was kind of developing the lore for Ebert and what we're going to kind of continue to uncover over time as our project grows. But that process is so important. And you can kind of tell like when people have put in that time and put in that effort, not only by the way that they even just talk about the project, but you can just tell by the artwork and that things have really been thought through and considered, as far as just the depth of what you're building and the depth of what's behind what you're building. So yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out. It looks really cool. I love the artwork too. So I'm a sucker for great art.
I'm really grateful that the other two founders, they are geeky devs. So I'm usually the social one handling Mike on Codyfight, and they are writing the story with the code. And for them, these words and these hype things and they don't mean anything. We all three are gamers, and then looking what we like to play. I would like to challenge each other, and we all three are very madly competitive, but in a different sense. I'm usually loud; they are silent, emotionless, and that you can definitely see in the game. And talking about artwork, Horkis, our designer, amazing chap, and the way he adopts the novelties, the AI integrations as well, to speed up his job, and you kind of build up all together, especially in trenches through the beard, that yourself really well. And here you are. I'm really glad we met Rain as well. He is actually provided us really valuable feedback to make the game more accessible for casual users and to make it even more hyper competitive. So you have token integrations, you have you have capability to move assets around, and we're building further. To have a game builder inside and teach kids to code. We're definitely gonna achieve way better results, if we teach kids coding in a gamified way instead of, boring repetitive tasks. So that's our mission, to replace coding academies sometime in the future.
That's awesome. And I think that's a perfect segue to open it up to Rain, because I saw he just came in here before. So yeah, Rain, I'm actually curious kind of how you guys linked up. And I think it opens up a really important thing because sorry, could you remind me of your name?
Brudo G, well, Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew. Yeah, so it kind of opens up, I think, a really important subject as far as like play to earn gaming goes. I feel, and again, I am not very well. I'm very out of my depth on play to earn gaming. Just so you know, Rain is really the kind of to me, he's the guy to go to when I want to talk about gaming in the Web3 space. But for me, what I have seen, and I feel like kind of just on the surface level, what I've seen is games that kind of lack a large amount of story. And for me, I loved like Skyrim, and I played World of Warcraft, and had some of these like MMORPGs that just had so much context and so much depth and so much stuff that you could really sink your teeth into. I feel like that's like maybe the next level of play to earn gaming and the Web3 gaming space that like is kind of on the horizon, where you have these games that are developed over longer periods of time, where like it's kind of unmistakable that this is a real game, and it's not just me playing Pong or something to earn some tokens from a project. Like to me there's like a really stark difference that's being created in the space where people are seeing let's just make a game as an opportunity to either make more money or make more investors in the short term, and it's kind of this like short term mindset, as opposed to people who are really doing game development from like building from the ground up for a long period of time and putting a lot of thought and effort into like a business plan behind the game. Like you're saying that you want to replace coding academies, and I think that that's fucking amazing. Like for me, I would never be able to learn coding in some of the ways. Like I could never go to Udemy and just watch a bunch of courses on coding and then just regurgitate it on my own. I'd have to interact with something, especially if I was a young kid. So I love the concept, and I also think that kind of bringing up a younger generation in a creative way is something I can always get behind. So yeah, Rain, how you doing, brother? I saw you come up. Let's get a mic check.
Yeah, I'm doing good. 1 2 1 2 1 2. How are you?
Beautiful. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Love you,
happy
brother.
Valentine's Day. Yeah, I got a funny story. Always Rain with the funny story. It'll tell you a little bit about my morning, but I'll stay on topic here first. So, yeah, man, the thing that I love a lot about Codyfight and like how we got connected and all this stuff, and really why I wanted to bring them in this space is, one, it felt like something that obviously the Ebert community would absolutely freaking love and adore, just in the sense of the sci-fi-esque to it, the hyper tactical strategy in place, even the Web3 element in it. It's all kind of encompassing. But what really made me, and I don't even know what genre to technically call this game, because it's technically a turn-based strategy game, but it goes so much deeper than that. And so the first example I'll say is there's a game on Steam that I played probably 4 or 5 years ago. Craziest game. You look at it, you think it's the dumbest thing in the world. All right. It was called Team Fight Manager. All right. Team Fight Manager. And the game is literally, you are building, it's all 8-bit, but you're building an esports team to then compete in esports tournaments, right? So you don't play the game or anything at all. It's almost like a manager thing, right? And you got to do salaries, all this shit, whatever. And then they play in like an FPS shooter. But there was just something about the game that I fell in love in, the concept of being able to build your own team, manage the team, make strategic improvements and developments in your team to make your team the best. And so when I stumbled upon Codyfight, I was like, okay, hold on. It has that same concept with the AI narrative implemented it, right? So like what makes the game really, really, really fucking cool and can let you nerd out on is that if you build, you build your own AI, right? Which they have a whole guide to it. It's actually way easier to do than it sounds. Trust me, I know. But then you can have your AI compete online, play games online for you in Codyfight, right? And then you're able to upgrade it, right? Change the coding out, change the parameters, or see a win-loss record, whatever you want. And it just allows you to like continue to dev out and just nerd the fuck out and get super excited and pumped up, with the potential of it. And then when you add in the Web3 mechanic where the ranked mode uses their token, which is CTOC token, and then that's a whole different ball game, right? You develop a bot, or you can just play by yourself. You don't even have to be a bot. But again, it's just fun. Because like I know a couple guys who refuse to make a bot because they want to be like, I will beat every AI. No AI can beat me. And there's other guys that are like, I'm going to build the best AI so that way it can shit on you type thing. So it's just an awesome concept. It's a really, really, insightful game. It's fun. It's sticky. It makes you want to learn more. There's a lot of improvements and stuff coming to it. But I saw Codyfight had his hand up. If you wanted to jump in on something I said specifically, feel free to do so. But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a huge fan.
Yeah, cheers, buddy, for this. Yeah, we met as usual in the spaces, and that's where the journey started. Uh, about this team manager aspect. So imagine what quite many gamers are really pissed off is that of multi-accounting. So in a way, we treat it as a multi-accounting, and you give people options, to create multiple accounts, because we have a vision that one day you want to have multiple bots and basically army of AI agents battling other ones, with different strategies, different skills, and you try to see which meta is dominant and try kind of go against the flow, find the best ways to compete and to actually earn through the competition in here. And you can do that manually, of course. And let's say I prefer playing on mobile phone. You can connect through a smart fridge. You learn some tactics and then you can apply them just using a basic code. And during this preseason experiment, we already seen this potential, even giving a rough code. There's no limitation of coding language whatsoever. You just connect to the API and do your magic. So we had already like 30 players. We had no freaking knowledge about the code whatsoever. They managed to deploy that, to run it, and actually fine tune it, to climb the leaderboards. And that's where we call this aha moment, that actually it fits. It fits to our vision that we can convert, people not without the coding knowledge into some sort of a little bit of that they can take the game to the next level. For some, Codyfight may remind of a Bomberman. For some, yeah, it's a chess, but as well, coming back to the storyline, it is quite a challenge to write a story, a lore for chess, for a game like chess. But I think that's where through the event side and again discussing with the community as well, we kind of write the story as we go. We chose the starting point is 2,000 years ahead from here, and we're moving forward.
So real quick, I want to jump in on something too. All right, and then we're going to move into some other stuff. But so Ebert had a really, really fun idea, and I want to know your thoughts. Okay, so just let me know. But I think it'd be pretty fucking cool. I want to challenge, our community, the Berts, to create an Ebert Codyfighter, like in the sense of create an AI Ebert that will play the game. What do you think? Crazy, cool, badass?
No, I'm down. I'm down. I'm just kind of looking at the website and just trying to dive into a little bit of. I'm going to probably fuck around with this after the space, by the way, Bruno. So I'm going to probably jump over here. But I love it. I think it's a great idea. So can you? I guess this may be a stupid question if I'm not understanding correctly. Can you customize your own character with like the use of your own AI, so you can kind of like build the bot that you want through use of an AI? Because I've been trying to listen and kind of read at the same time. Because if that's the case, I'll just see if I can kind of like get the AI to make an Ebert type character.
Yeah. What I'll say is for you, I think it's possible. I'll let Brudo talk about it.
Yeah. Look, in terms of what's behind the engine, like the activity of the AI agent and the strategies, and as well the accessibility to the public data via API. Yes, you get that. Character customization at this stage, we designed together with you, and basically you choose the class and skill set you wanna start with, and then we move on. I think we can deploy that pretty quickly, And then,
well, there you go.
Add. Oh, wait a minute. Let me add one thing in the top. So we have those magic, C boxes, and as well, I see. There's people, your ever community can come in, and they can enter competitive leagues where we use CTOC just by simply using Ebert token to get the C box with that special character in, and some CTOC for the start, to the competitive league. Next week we're going live with AI agents. So if we have a good discussion in DMs, I think we can pack one already ready to go AI agent in the box. So you just attach the character, a Codyfighter, use that out of the stock AI agent, and then you start balancing and moving, and changing the strategy parameters by yourself. That's also an option.
That's cool. So that you can really retrofit and kind of like your project integration can be, pretty tailored, like kind of tailor fit to whatever's integrating with you, which is I think really important. Like we've considered kind of jumping into certain games before, but there was always a lot of, I'd say, bumpers around what we were trying to do and kind of how we were trying to integrate into the game. And I'm not going to shout out the games that we were talking to. I think that what they told us is that there was a lot of things that we couldn't do. And what it ultimately would have been is something that was really far removed from what Ebert is trying to be, like what Ebert is, and, the mysterious aspect of him. And the fact that one thing was, for example, that we were talking to some games at a time where we hadn't and still haven't revealed what Ebert's lower body looks like. He's a shapeshifter, but his lower body is also shapeshifting with him in a way. So people don't know what that looks like yet. And there's content that's being released in the near future that does reveal that, and that was kind of a contingency for the games that I think that they were like, all right, fuck this. we can't like help you keep that secret. We basically need like a full model, which in this, I don't think that we'd have the same stipulations because we're so much further along and we're so close to that reveal. But it's also fun to know that, your lore is, I think, very much in line with kind of where Ebert would fold into things, right? Like it's futuristic. It's fun. It kind of has the depth of the lore behind it that I think would allow us to kind of, creatively work our way into it somehow. It seems like it's a really fun thing to, be a part of at some point. And it's interesting that you said that there's like token integration from the projects that are collaborating with you as well. That's amazing.
Yeah, actually, just wanted to share right away. So we have 5 rarities. You start, from common, climb up all the way to mythic. Here we go. The eBay character, and how do you imagine him progressing? Across those different rarities, and that's where this part of the lower body can change shapes and change concepts actually. Depending on the skill set you unlock with each rarity. So that's deep.
Yeah, that's like you need that type of depth though, because like if it was too shallow and you couldn't like really work your way up to these like higher levels and these higher tiers of like gear and bots, and like that's the stuff that always like for me, for example, like when I played World of Warcraft, it was always the stuff that I could kind of aspire to that kept me in, right? It was always like the next build or the next tier or the next tier of equipment, or it was that next thing that kept me engaged with the game. Like it kept me like playing for hours and hours and hours because, okay, if I did this amount of quests, maybe I would get this, purple piece of gear. Like it is, those types of things are so important. If you had like a really shallow game that was kind of just like this binary input output type thing without the depth, I feel like you wouldn't have any retention first and foremost, but then secondly, that your staying power within a space that is so saturated is probably really low. So I think that, I love to hear just all of the context that you've given. And I think that all the thought that you guys have put into it, I think really does justify the fact that you're not only have, you're 4 years in and you're continuing to build. That's inspiring to us first and foremost, but then next means that you're going to be here for a bit. So it's really cool. It's great to meet you. I think that, I am not so much of a gamer at this point in my life. I think I was a little bit more when I was younger and I didn't have a baby. And, when I had a little bit more free time. But this is definitely something I would carve, some time out to dig into a little bit more. So, very cool stuff.
So we got it. Ebert's in. Ebert's coming to a game. Ebert's coming to a game. Hell yeah. Love it. Yeah, congratulations, Codyfight. Congratulations.
Cheers, buddy. Same story on my end. The only opportunity I had is actually to test Codyfight, especially mobile interaction with my 3 years. At that time, he was 3 years old when I gave him first version. And if you can make a game that 3 years old can actually intuitively activate skills and move across the board, you just give him an objective: go and catch that evil pig. And here you go, few iterations, my kid can play that, so most probably people with IQ of 15 can actually start engaging with Codyfight as well.
Beautiful. Bert, before we dive into, so I saw you pin the Jumbotron. I got a funny story. Do you want to hear it first?
Tell your story. That was just a placeholder. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
We'll do it a little later. Yeah. No rush.
I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to like this a lot.
Cook. Yeah, go ahead. Cook.
All right, man. So first and foremost, man, happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate. I don't know if this is like only a U.S. thing or something. I'm pretty sure like St. Valentine is from like, I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, guys. But hopefully if you celebrate, you know what? You should, right? You should, because love is love, all right? And everybody has love in them, and it doesn't got to be just a significant other. It can be your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your dog, your cat, your guinea pig, the homeless man around the corner. It doesn't matter. Celebrate with someone, all right? Tell them you love them. Okay, so Valentine's Day. I wake up this morning. I got Miss Rain next to me. I go, hi, honey. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Give her a little kiss. And then I'm like, all right, baby, I got to work my ass off today, but I will get you whatever you want. What do you want? You can have anything in the world. And she goes, well, you know, most, you know, you'd imagine maybe some flowers, some chocolates, go on a nice date night, maybe some jewelry, you know, or stay at home and watch a bunch of movies and buy a bunch of snacks or something. Yeah, no, not Miss Rain. Not Miss Rain. She threw a very exciting but crazy curveball. She goes, I want you to go to this place called GRP Liquidation. All right. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing? She goes, they have boxes of unclaimed mail that they sell in bulk on pallets. And I just want you to go and get a pallet of unclaimed mail and we can open it for Valentine's Day. Open all the mail. I'm like, what? So, and I'm like, is this illegal? She's like, no. It's like mail that's been like lost forever. And then like the main mail places do like an auction, and then these big liquidators buy it out and then they distribute it and sell it for profit. And she's like, you know, one man's lost mail is another man's, you know, treasure. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's go. So I'm in the middle of Michigan, right? Snowed a shitload. There's black ice everywhere. I fell on my ass outside. You know, I scraped the car off, all that stuff, and I start driving. I'm driving, you know, like 40 minutes out of town. Get there. It is just a big ass fucking warehouse. Like it looks like if a Disney cartoon made a warehouse where it is just like 300 feet tall stacks of shit. That's what this place looks like. And it looks like it just goes on forever. Like if you ever saw that Harry Potter, I don't remember which one it is, Deathly Hallows, but like the orbs, it looks fucking infinite, okay? Just infinite pallets everywhere. So I woke up to the guy. I'm like, hey, man, I'm here to get some unclaimed mail. And the guy goes, he just looks at me like I'm an idiot. And I'm like, all right, fuck, maybe I'm doing this wrong. I was like, you know, like the mail, like y'all got some mail, you know, like mail I can buy, you know, like real people's mail with good shit in it. And he's like, no. He's like, we have unclaimed mail because giving you someone else's mail would be illegal. And I'm like, holy shit, guy. All right. So, all right, give me the unclaimed mail. Give me the unclaimed mail real quick. Let's see what we get. So we got 30 packages of unclaimed mail. Loaded it up in my car, brought it home. And yeah, I just got big ass boxes full of unclaimed mail. That's what we're doing for Valentine's Day tonight. We are gonna sit down and we're gonna tear that shit up. And I'll let the Berts know if we get something lit or something crazy. But that's Rain Rat's Valentine's story.
You just get a bunch of checks made out to cash.
That'd be cool.
Like he hits jackpot.
Pretty cool.
Maybe that's what she was going for. I mean, that's it's kind of brilliant if you really think about it. It's just
I love it.
You never know.
Yeah, she's she's super creative. And we both talked. We're like, all right, you know, this would be really fun. It's kind of like gambling, but like at least you get something, you know, even if it's like a piece of shit, you know, I can at least be like,
how much was the pallet?
A piece of shit. $300. $300. Yeah.
Man, I hope you get something. I hope you get like a Chuck E. Cheese gift card or something good.
Hopefully.
Come on.
Either or Dave and Buster's, maybe, you know.
Something good. Something juicy.
Something juicy. Man. Maybe like a diamond, you know, or like
yeah.
What else comes in mail? I don't know what else. I don't
Oh my God. You're gonna get so many IRS forms in there, it's gonna be unreal.
Oh yes. IRS bills. I like that. Yes.
Collections notices.
Collections,
up,
IRS. Right? Oh my God. And we wonder why we don't have an identity theft problem in the US. Well, there we go.
I love it. But yeah, that's my story. I'm very excited.
I love that.
I'll keep you guys
that's a great Valentine's Day story.
Ray, I want to know what vehicle you were driving down there to get it. Were you driving like a 1972 Ford F-150? Like it has a muffler oil leak? Like what's going on?
Oh, yeah, that's true, right? Everyone's probably thinking like Rain's in the G-Wagon. He right, no sound. No, man, no. This is it's actually my wife's car. It's a beautiful car. She calls it Walter, you know, for Walter White. If anybody knows Breaking Bad, great show. But it is a 2012 or 2014 maybe, or 2013 Chevy Impala. And yeah, no, it runs great. It's a great car. It's I think my oh fuck me, my automatopoeia is there. I think it's just from how shit the roads are in Michigan that any fucking car will go because the shit is so fucking bumpy. Because the winter just destroys the roads every fucking year. But yeah, shout out my boy Walter, man. He treats my wife good, and I love him. I love him a lot.
Well, that means you must be driving an Aztec. So I know Breaking Bad.
Amen. Amen. Just need the El Camino next.
You got to come down here. You got to try to drive down here. There are no roads. Roads don't even exist.
Yeah, just through the fucking jungle.
Unbelievable.
On the beach, in the desert. Oh my god.
You learn quickly about like what has value here, and like a place where like if you were driving a G-Wagon down here, you wouldn't make it like, I don't know, a couple weeks without like your transmission blowing out, or like your suspension completely cracking, or like the crossbar breaking in half, or just some crazy bullshit. Like everyone here is after Hiluxes. Everyone just wants a Hilux down here, just because you can beat the shit out of them. They're overbuilt. So like that's what has value down here in Central America. If you get like a nice car, you're doing it wrong. You're actually just doing it wrong. I had to learn that the hard way, by the way. It's not a good experience.
Yeah, that's why Toyota has more value over even Nissan.
Yep.
Toyota is in Africa, Toyota, and if you want to do a one-way trip with your four-wheel drive, an expedition, and come back in one piece with a car sold for good profits, choose Toyota, whatever built 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, just go for that.
See? Andrew knows.
Even
he knows what's good.
Freaking Corolla 1.88 engine. I mean, I drive Corolla Verso 7-seater, here in Europe, and I choose cars based on Excel spreadsheet. So I go to German TUV, it's like a technical expertise site.
This guy is a dev. Continue. That is the craziest shit I've ever heard.
I wish I knew you when I was buying a car down here.
Yeah, and then you look, at the what age the car you want to buy. I usually, I think the car is bad investment. So you look something, you can afford to throw out in 2 years with maybe minimal value lost. And yeah, with a cheap or like unbreakable variant. And you see, if you look at 10 plus years cars in Europe, what you find, on the top of the reliability is a Porsche, yeah, some models, usually those classic ones, and then Lexus and Toyota and Honda's couple models. And that 1.8 engine, yeah, petrol, that's unbreakable. It's I drive on the motorway, and you get the sense like you're sitting in a old kamikaze plane, and then that's on, and you get that feeling, oh, I'm flying over the Pacific Ocean, all in peace, and then just yeah, with my unbreakable Toyota.
The spreadsheet's a good call. Yeah, no, yeah. I got a diesel like SUV down here, and it's like a city car. And then we started. I mean, I live in Costa Rica, Andrew, so like everything is kind of up a mountain. Every house is up a mountain, and I absolutely just demolished the car within the first 6 months that we were here. Everything on the bottom just completely got fucked up. Like the suspension was cracked when I took it back to the mechanic to take a look at it. Like it's just you almost want a beater just so you can not have to think about all of the shit that you're doing to it while you're driving it.
1992 Suzuki Samurai. You can fix it in any place.
Yeah.
And if you break your axis, you can use actually a pretty hard piece of wood and come back on all four wheels. Done that.
Holy fucking shit. Wow.
He knows. Samurais are big here.
Yeah,
too.
that was crazy.
People are restoring Samurais here too. That's okay. He knows. He knows.
Jake, what does Jake drive? He's got to drive a truck, right? I can't imagine Jake in any of the
has to. What do you drive?
Oh,
Jake?
man. Oh, I don't. I mean, damn. Okay. I used to drive a truck. Until I became a family man, and then now I drive a Walter. So.
Oh shit! You got a Walter White? Oh shit! Let's go. There you go. Family first. I like it.
Oh man, it was so tough to make that trade into. I remember that day, and I got into my little Walter. I'm like, oh no. because I'm tall. I'm a tall dude. So getting into like my big truck, I had a Ford F-250 King Ranch style 6.7 liter. Love that truck. And again, became a family man and realized that, okay, wife wanted not that. And said, oh, look, crawling into my little Walter. I don't know. Like I'm like the Disney character you see just trying to slowly get in, but my back's all crunched over and I'm just grabbing the steering wheel and doing the best I can to hold my shit together in the little SUV. That's what Jake drives.
The Incredibles. There's
The Incredibles. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's it. The big dude. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
I'm not as
shit.
muscular, but yeah, totally that.
No,
Dude, the
no, I love
F-250
it.
is mean. That thing
Oh,
is
Big
mean.
truck. That's a big
How
truck.
did you give that up? How did you give that up? They'd have to
Love.
pry my hands off of that thing.
Valentine's Day, love, family. That's the only reason. If it wasn't for that, I still have that bad boy. I miss that truck so damn much. And I used to be a bike rider too, so I put my bike in the back, and take it with me. But my man, just what I would do to, I don't know, go back and just punch myself, right in the face and say, dude, don't do this. Don't do this.
Don't
Slap
do
yourself
it.
in the face lovingly.
No.
Yeah, one of those.
Unreal.
I'll get her back.
Cars are a tricky game. They're a tricky game. I think it's based on where you are. It's always context, where you are, and what you really need the car for. That for me, I stopped looking at, I bought a Bronco a while ago, and it was probably the dumbest decision I ever made because I was using it to commute to New York City when we were living outside of the city, and I was using it to commute. I was like, what the fuck am I doing with this car? This is not what it's meant for.
No.
And it was like, it's meant for the opposite. It's meant for what I need it for now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right.
I wish you had a Bronco now.
I wish I had a Bronco now too. I mean, it's just, I know timing is a funny thing. We talk about time sometimes.
Did you have a new one or one of the 70s versions?
No, it was a new one, and I got completely scraped on the price. They just dragged me over the coals because everyone wanted one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I fell for it. And I got one because I thought it was really fucking cool. And it, I had to wear earplugs while I drove down the highway because it was not meant for that.
Wow. No, not at all. Yeah, like I love them actually. The new ones, they are awesome. Like their towing capacity isn't great, but they are so sick. Yeah, totally agree. Like the inside interior space. Like I rented one when I was in Denver. I don't know, like 4 months ago or so. And drove out in the middle of nowhere. But you're doing short distances, totally get you. They are awesome, but highway driving, they suck. Like in terms of the noise, like they are bad. So I'm totally with you there.
Okay.
No, they're meant for the opposite.
I got some that popped up. Quick little segment, if you don't mind, for everyone here. Codyfight's going to go too. Best car/vehicle in any film, TV, movie ever. What's your guess?
I am so ready for this one.
You will go first, Jake? Ebert's going to take a long time. He's going to be like, there's so many. There's so many. I think
DeLorean, Back to the Future.
Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be fucking sick. DeLorean. I can't believe that car. Okay, quick side note here. Because I didn't see DeLorean, I didn't see Back to the Future. I was way late to the game. Like, I didn't watch Back to the Future until like the 2010s, and when I saw the DeLorean, I was like, dude, this car is fucking sick. And then like I looked it up, and like there isn't a thing. Like they aren't a thing anymore. Back in the 2010s and shit. And I was like, how the fuck did this not just explode and just take off and just be everyone's dream car?
That's a good question. I don't know the history of that. Ebert, maybe you know it, but maybe it was just poor marketing. I mean, because Rolls-Royce, they were around, even before the DeLorean, and they're still around to this day, obviously, but they don't do any marketing mainly. I'm curious why they died out as well. I mean, maybe it was an engine issue. I don't know, but it was a sick car. By the way, I'm referring to the car also with an included time machine. So
the time machine, I figured.
That's a big part of my submission here.
I figured.
It works.
Yeah, that was my first thought too. But the second which came to my mind was this vintage. I think it was Aston Martin from one of 70s James Bond films.
Yep. I was thinking about
that
too, buddy.
With all those gadgets, you can fucking dive. It has lasers in your.
No, I'm fucking up. Okay, I gotta change my pick.
Sean Connery, man.
Yeah, and you know, you as a kid, it's like, I mean, yeah, you just can try to build that in your imagination. So yeah, that was my second guess after DeLorean. Yeah, so
Fuck. Ebert, can you go
Yeah.
next? Don't make me
Yeah, no,
go.
I'll go. Oh man. Okay.
I'm
I
in
had
shambles.
a few. So the first one is an easy one, the spinner. Does anyone know what the spinner is?
I do not.
No.
Blade Runner 2049. It's the car that Deckard drives.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's the spinner. It's a levitating flying car. But it's so the reason that I like it so much is because a guy named Mark Mangini, who's he's a sound designer that generally works with Denis Villeneuve on all of his films. I think ever since like I don't know where he started with Mark. Probably on.
These look
I
pretty
don't know.
sick. I'm not
They're
gonna
insane.
lie.
The sound design for the spinners
Wow.
is some of my favorite sound design like ever in the world. Like it like in any movie ever. It's like Mark's work on the spinner and all of his stuff for like, you know, the copters and Dune and this. He's a madman. But I would totally go with the spinner. And then I have like 10 more, but I the spinner is up there for me. Just
Well,
based
this is fucking bullshit. You guys get fucking flying cars and fucking secret agent cars and fucking time traveling cars. I went, what the fuck am I? All right, you know what? Fine, I can do this. All right, my go. Any car? Yeah, I fucked up. You're right. You know what? You guys did good. Okay. See? Okay, I'm gonna say what my choice was going to be, and then I'm changing it though. Okay, because I'm just okay. So, Dukes of Hazards. Dukes of Hazards, man. If anybody knows that.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful orange. I think it's a Challenger. Is it a Challenger?
I think it's a Challenger. Yeah, I don't think it's a Chevelle.
Yeah.
Orange Challenger, Dukes of Hazards, bro. You know, minus the
whole, I don't know, Confederacy thing in it.
Yeah, is there a Confederate flag? I think there's a Confederate flag on it, but minus that. Minus that.
Forget
It's the
about that
General
one.
Lee, dude. The car's named the General Lee.
It's a good car. It's a good
That's
car.
true. Okay, but the car does a lot of really cool shit besides that in the movie. And then I guess my futuristic car from like a movie or something that like I would do anything for would probably have to be the fucking Christopher Nolan's Batmobile. The fucker can fly.
Oh yeah.
It can go in water.
Stocky.
Yeah, bro. Fucking jet speed. Fucking grappling hooks and I don't know what all the fuck it does. I just know it does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it turns into a motorcycle. That's what makes it badass. Yes, I knew there was a reason.
I was gonna go with Trinity's motorcycle from the Matrix, just because I was like, okay, I rode a motorcycle for years, so it's like, okay, that's my second. But no, these are all good picks. I could go on for fucking ever. I mean, cars. It depends though, Rain. I think like in certain movies, cars are a character in the movie. You know, like in Baby Driver, if you ever seen Baby Driver, like the car is as much a character in the movie as the main character themselves. Like if you've seen Drive with Gosling, I think that was a Chevelle. Amazing movie. And like there was probably an entire pass of that film that they did in post just for designing the car, the sound of the car, like everything, because it plays such an integral role.
What's that TV show that everybody talks about the fucking car?
Well, were they about Kit? I'm surprised Kit didn't come up.
Is it Kit? Is that the one? It's like an older TV show. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. He was a character. Like Kit was like
that talks.
It had like the front end grill that would light up, right?
Yeah. What the fuck is it?
I'm looking it up right now.
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy concept too. Like who said, you know what? Let's make a car. Literally like the main character in this fucking not cartoon or animated show, but like this real show, and it fucking worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
Same with Batman. You know,
oh yeah,
car is a big part of it, and
that's true. Yeah, but his car doesn't talk, can it? Can his car talk?
Yeah, the community
I think it's
the car.
Yeah, I think it can.
They could.
You know what I'll say?
Science fiction becomes science fact. Everyone's going to be driving Batmobiles around in spinners.
When do we get our AI cars? I would love to just talk with my car the whole drive. That'd make it so much nicer. Like on my drive today, I'd be like, "Hey, car, what do you think? Is this crazy?"
Let's speak about the future. It's actually, your car is sitting on your curb probably 95% of the time.
True.
So that's why I don't believe in leasing and so on, unless you need to drive, really long distances. When you come to think about autonomous cars, so the first and probably the most efficient way would be to have them, as a cabs moving around upon the demand, because then they are efficient. They're moving 99% of the time instead of sitting on a curb. So I think that's gonna be probably the next step, with autonomous driving, how we're gonna adopt it. Because again, it takes gazillions, to train as well, to invest and build those as a
Well, hear me
reliable
out.
pieces.
Brudo, would you do this? Would you do this? If there was a car that you could buy that had like AI built into it, that like you could tell it to like go do shit for you, like to run errands, or like you could be like, hey, like I walk to the bar, then I'm like, hey, pick me up and bring me home at 8 p.m. And it's like, boom, done. Or like, go pick up this order from Target or Walmart or Meijer or whatever the hell. Would you want that car?
Yes, but I think in this case, a proper drone would be more efficient.
Okay, fine, I guess. Fine, okay. Would you want an AI car? Would you want a car that could be your friend?
Do you want a kit?
Yeah, you want a kit?
Yes. I like thinking, from evolution point of view. What's the second man's best friend after the dog?
Technology, gaming.
Horse.
A horse.
And
Yup. Okay.
horse is and the horse was replaced, by vehicles, by cars in 20th century, brutally, in one decade. Suddenly, everyone is just every man, instead of caring after the horse, they had to start caring about the car, the precious one. It's it's our man cave. It's our way, to disconnect, from all the routines, and as well express ourselves. So yeah, this is like, it's deep in our blood, and you can't believe that.
That's a really good take. That's a really good. I never thought about that. That's why people love their car so much, because it's like that deep connection they have with their horse.
Men.
Okay, men. Sorry,
yeah,
men.
they can personalize, but they kind of have attachment until the how to say, life situation will change, or they're just gonna want to need an upgrade, because it's like they want to, how to say, wear the nicest clothes. So that's why there's still this leopard print, or the print of any strong animal is still valid today. So it's same with the car, as you climb through social ladders, your woman wants to be, to reflect that with the car, most probably.
I love Brudo. Brudo, you sound like James Bond. You sound
agreed.
like fucking James Bond.
Agreed. You're welcome here anytime. We talk about the future, talk about cars. I mean, we talk about evolution. It's it's interesting. It's kind of like it's like an evolutionary like void that we're trying to fill with things that don't necessarily give us the reciprocation that we're looking for. I think that it's a really interesting take. I love the idea that science fiction becomes science fact. I remember listening to like way back in the day, like Bob Lazar talking about everything that he talked about. And he always says like science fiction becomes science fact. And it's kind of true. I think that the way that we idolize the future tends to be something that like charts our course toward our own future, like our, collective ideals as to what the future can bring from a technological standpoint, spiritual standpoint, everything it really does tend to steer the ship. And we're getting so close towards merging with technology, and some people are fighting it and some people are accepting it and kind of welcoming it with open arms. But I think everyone kind of sees it from a different side. Some people see it more in like a kind of an esoteric, like, well, what does this mean for human beings? And then some people are like, well, these are tools that we can use and continue to use to be better versions of human beings. But I don't think that it's going to stop. I think that, you know, technology is only exponentially getting better every day. Like, to say that, you know, a car that can do things on command for you autonomously without you having to be anywhere near it is not in the near future, I think would be naive. You know, we're closer than we think.
Oh yeah.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah. Indeed, indeed. You're gonna, you know, you're just gonna use a smartwatch to call that an autonomous car. You know, it's like bringing the technology and again how I look at the world. I really loved science fiction when I was a kid, combined with a lot of reading of history books. And I kind of live in a world without borders. You know, I do not, because again, I seen so many borders, you know, changing through the lifetime, like through the lifetime of human beings, that, you know, you simply, you know, that next 100 years these things might gonna change, you know. And it's all about how do you have a perception? Do we survive as a nation, or do you survive as a humanity as such? You know, and there's a conflict between East and the West. It's actually now pretty obvious when we have this technology, you know, being emerged, and especially in the sense of AI, where you have the West focus, you know, on individuals, on humans, and then you go, you know, towards the East, and you have this how to say, societies more what's the word, uh subordinate, and
Hmm.
things are being, and you know, each societal element, individual, they understand how they contribute to all this bigger picture, and
Mm-hmm.
they and that's how in a short period of time they can achieve a lot bigger and faster results, you know, because they are, you know, they plan for the 5 6 years, and you know, no matter what politics are around, they're gonna just grind towards that, and each element in the economy is geared towards that, you know. While in the West, we have, you know, to go through the discussion challenges, how it's gonna be impact me as individual, my privacy, you know, and all these things. So we have we're now in a very interesting situation where, you know, U.S. and China are innovating, and Europe is trying to regulate things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, care about the consumers. You know, so yeah, it's. But then again, once you zoom out, is our what's our further purpose? Like
Yeah.
survive as a humanity, you know, or just continue reign for the power in that tiny blue bubble?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it was on Wednesday, we did a VC in our Telegram on Wednesday. We started talking about the reality as we know it and the things that we could change to kind of, whether it was make things better or just kind of create change for the advancement of human evolution. And like what you're saying, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that it needs to be in a more, you know, kind of subordinate environment where people are more subordinate than others. It's more of like what you're saying is like a hive mind moves things forward at a far faster and higher and more efficient rate than kind of this, you know, independence minded type of a state, right? Where like you have these individual people who are like, I'm on my own, I'm a lone horse, I've got to go at it on my own, and fuck the haters, and I'm alone in this pursuit, as opposed to, well, what if we all kind of put our minds together and let's just see how far we can go. Last week we had Rain's cousin Mikey on, and he was talking about civilizations that were more intuitively evolving as opposed to those that were more intellectually or evolving. Sorry. And I think that is such a fascinating concept, because if you have a civilization of people, a world of people that are intuitively kind of in tune with what's happening and the way that they're evolving, and they're all trying to kind of collectively work together to you know, like all, you know, rising tide lifts all ships type of thing, I feel like you get a lot further than you would with kind of this like this compartmentalized, over intellectualized system that is kind of like, you see it in the West, like you really see it in the West. Jake can attest to this. He's seen it, like this over compartmentalization, this kind of hoarding of information. It really does stifle the advancement of human evolution, and that's from a technological standpoint, that's from a spiritual and emotional standpoint, that's from like our own physiology, physical standpoint, like everything I think gets affected by that type of kind of horde mentality. So I totally agree with what you're saying, Andrew. It makes so much sense, because I think that it's, for me, I feel really grateful that we get to talk to different people from all around the world, because your perspective of what the West is doing, it really illuminates things for myself, who I lived in the States for 33 years of my life. So I think that when you can kind of take a step away and then listen to people who are on the outside looking in and saying, well, this is kind of what it looks like, it's really helpful to kind of put things into perspective. So yeah, the hive mind, it's a powerful thing that I think people don't give enough credit to these days.
I'm really glad that I was born and actually still had a sense of Soviet Union, still seeing that, So I was on the other side of the Berlin Wall. And then, it took us a good couple of decades, to break through and sort of, but we, like, since Middle Ages, we, like, our country always had that focus, towards the West, lean towards the West. And then the world freeing up, me being able to cross the borders without any restrictions. Mm, yeah, at one point at our parliament, been working with the US on a political level as well, flying to Washington DC, and yeah, I really enjoyed that part, that part of time, when actually you can see things not only how they're globally happening, just from a tourism perspective, but as well, on the political point of view, what things are being discussed, on those sometimes behind those closed doors, how media portray certain things, how lobbyism works, and then you have, kind of different mindset in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, the rose colored glasses come off pretty quick, I imagine, when you realize that really nothing is unintentional, especially the media that reaches people's faces at home. It's
And
like,
here, yeah, and here, we can link it back to the nice storytelling.
yeah.
It's like each person, each angle, they can tell a different story. They can make it likable, for their audience or for the people they try to influence, But then again, if audience has the critical thinking, they can read between the lines and they can build their own story.
I love it. And I think that the key is finding an audience who thinks critically, and allowing that audience to find you, which I think the most important thing, and I love that you've been working on something for 4 years. You understand more than any of us why building over the long term accrues the real audience and the real members of your community, and it just takes time. And we talk about this in the Ebert world a lot, is that we're trying to build an IP in Web3, right? So like, Andrew, just so you know, I came from the film and TV world. I did a long stint in film and TV and decided to do basically what a character franchise is, but in this space. But the things that don't change are the things that are ubiquitous for everybody building a business, which is that building an audience, building real members, building real investors, and actual, call it like a real cap table of people takes time. It does take time. And yes, things are transient and can happen fast in this space, but it usually doesn't benefit the masses of people more so than just a few people. And I think that what we're trying to do is affect and create real change and advance things with the technologies that we have available to us to make things more, I would say, open and available to a public market on a worldwide level. And the more people that I meet from, whether it's Eastern Europe or Asia or like Africa, like everywhere, the more I realize how important that mission is, and how much purpose we have as a community to kind of continue pushing in that way, continue pulling people into our community and ensuring that they know that we're here trying to build something and we're not going anywhere. That's a reassurance that it's kind of our responsibility to give that reassurance to the people that are in our community, because they're used to the latter, which is the transient spikes and the pump and dumps and all that stuff, which again, it exists, but I think it's really our responsibility to kind of admonish that from the space as much as possible.
Yes, indeed, and it's really hard in all these spikes, and those roller coaster life to keep that steady path. And I think
Yeah.
here it's as well down to your partners, and as well down to the community to help you to keep on that path, because in quite many cases you see, yeah, majority cases projects fail on the execution level, but then it's sudden and unmeasured shifting. I think that's the second biggest clause, and it's, again, sometimes it's being a pressure of the community, who suddenly, they get hyped by another new thingy which popped up, and that crowd mentality, they just brutally push forward, and sometimes, like, not sometimes, like in every business, you need to have a strong backbone, and sometimes, yes, you listen, you have to hear everything around, but sometimes you have to choose what you listen. Some old analyst
100%.
taught me this. Yeah, it's the same about customers' feedback. You have to hear what they're saying, but you don't need to listen on every step, because you know the inside outs of what you're building, and sometimes you want to keep a little secret, to have some spices for the future.
And that's, I think it's such a good point to make. Like, feedback is cumulative. Like, feedback is cumulative. You can't look at feedback in a vacuum on a case-by-case basis. If 10 people are telling me the same thing, yeah, maybe I should fucking listen. But if one person is telling me something, then I'm going to take that as feedback. I'm going to put it in my pocket. I'm going to save it for later. And I think that you're right. Like, especially in a space like this, you need a strong backbone. You need to be a lot of things, right? You need to be kind of a shapeshifter in your own right as a founder and a developer in this space. You need to understand how the space moves. You need to not tether your emotions to the way the space moves with volatility all the time. You need to be able to detach from those things, so the people that are behind you in the community that you're helping to build is confident in the fact that you're not going to swing with the market the way that so many people do. And look, I was guilty of this, especially early on in my crypto life, like really swinging with the way that the market was swinging emotionally. I was trying to trade for a bit, and it's a roller coaster. It's not easy. Anybody in this room who trades, fucking good on you. Like, that is not easy. Shout out to Alan. I know Alan is a trader. He's got, I think probably an iron will to be able to, withstand some of the volatility, and probably however crazy the P&L looks at the end of the day is it's almost like a map of your emotions over time. If you don't have that type of kind of iron constitution to pull you into a centered place, it's not easy. So I really do, a lot of what you're saying, Andrew, resonates with me deeply, because I've experienced this now for 8 months. Having been a founder, this is for me, first time founder in this space. I've been in it since 2018. But you do learn kind of what's necessary and what attitude you need to kind of take towards this space to continue building consistently and persistently, and to not really allow yourself to be shaken. And it is probably like one of the most paramount things about being a founder here, are those tenets, those things that you kind of, abide by. And I don't want to change the subject, because this is a great conversation, but I did want to, we're kind of at the hour mark. I think we're right around an hour 10. I wanted to take the opportunity to announce our background contest winners. So if you guys see in the pinned post up on the Jumbo, it says, "Show the Berts your creation station and stand to win from $330 in rewards." We've gotten a lot of submissions over the last week. We only ran this one for a week. I think we did the movie poster contest for like a couple weeks, but this one we started getting submissions right away, and I've really loved just the variety of submissions that we got. And a lot of people were just getting really creative with how they were integrating the backgrounds into their world, into their workstations. We had people bringing them to work, onboarding their coworkers into the ECU with our backgrounds and our artwork. So I really love to see it. And here are the 3 winners for you guys today. So I've got them all up on here on a note. The first one is Atabola. Congrats, Atabola. He's been, just so you all know, Addy's been trying to win a Birdathon for a while. The Birdathons have been like these really weird puzzles, and it's just been, it's been a very random, I think, selection of Birdathons. So Addy did a really cool and kind of like artistic submission really early on, and I think he resubmitted a couple times. He just really wanted to make sure that his submission was absolutely fire, which it was. And I loved it. So I'm going to see if I can find it and post it up to the Jumbo while I announce the winners, but I'm also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully do that. The second one, congrats, Addy. The second one is Quantum. So Quantum Quasar, he goes by Getson on X. He basically brought his computer and his technology out into a mangrove forest and put his backgrounds on the technology and put the laptop in the mangrove trees. I need to mention also that he was there planting mangrove trees. He was there planting trees in a mangrove forest to give back to the environment, to help this, I guess, this mangrove forest kind of recultivate its ecosystem. And that shit is like exactly what we stand for in the ECU, is giving back, touching earth, and then also kind of helping the earth at the same time. So I really loved to see Quantum's submission. And that was, I think, one of the earlier ones as well. He said, decided to take Who is Ebert 3D pack beyond the desk and into the wild, deep in the mangroves, where we're planting nurseries to conserve our local ecosystem, which is just so awesome. So congrats, Quantum. You are a true Bert and a legend at that. The last one, last but not least, and I mentioned him before, is Alan. Alan put his submission in last night. It was about a 2-minute video submission. So this one was new. I hadn't seen any video submissions. I think Jake did a video submission. We had a couple people do videos. Shout out to Nerdy. Your video is a close contender for this last spot. But Alan, he took a couple minutes and just spoke on the ECU. He said a lot of really nice things about our community, about our project, about what we're trying to build, why we're here. And he also reminded me that he's not going anywhere, that he's going to be here no matter what, which is just something he said to me since I met him a couple months ago. And I just, that type of consistency, that type of just commitment to a project is just such an amazing and rare thing in this space. So Alan, thank you for your message. Thank you for your words. Thank you for the energy that you gave. And into making this video. The Enigma background looks absolutely fire against the blue room backdrop that you have. And congrats, you are our third winner. So those are your three: Addy, Quantum, Alan. Y'all are legends. We love you very much. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Birdathon Day. BG background contest complete. Stay tuned. We've got a couple of really interesting contests coming up. This one was a bit of a warm-up, I would say, for really what we have coming down the pipeline. And you guys absolutely crushed it. Special mentions to Dez. Special mentions to Nerdy, to Grim, to Savage. I see you in here. And Meyer, thank you all for also submitting to the contest. HG, I know you did one. You guys are all legends, you know, pulling down that Muon pack of backgrounds, throwing it onto your systems. It's really lovely to see our artwork finding its way to the world, to other people's homes. And I get really inspired when we do stuff like this, because it makes me want to keep making more. And that's exactly what I'm going to keep doing. So congrats, everybody.
Woohoo! Congrats, Berts.
I don't know. I thought I rugged for a second because it was a little quiet.
I thought you did too. I was like, oh no, we got zaps. I had to step in. Those are awesome selections, well deserved. So I could not have said it better myself in terms of how they were selected, what they contributed to the ECU. Absolutely legendary. So anyways, I just think it's awesome. And yeah, more to come on the competitions.
Community activations are the best. A wise Bert once told me, and this wise Bert is Rain, how important community activations are. So shout out to Rain also for always giving me the nudge when it comes to just, you know, figuring these out, making sure that we're, you know, doing these and giving back and trying to create new and interesting and creative ways for the community to earn, and just, you know, finding creative ways also to just use our art. You know, this was a fun video for me to make. It was this like really simple video of my desk with a shit ton of Blu-rays stacked up, but it really does kind of pump the creative juices. So I love those types of challenges to, you know, be able to make stuff and get it out to the world and just ship it. So Again, thank you, Rain, for always encouraging us to do these community activations. They're some of my favorite kind of milestones within the ECU. I would say that they're really fun.
I appreciate you too, brother. Yeah, man. Community's king. Community's king, man. And I think it shows with our community. It grows more and more every single day. And from these activations, not only does it grow and just get new users, but it gets absolute diehard, people to go all in on the project, all in on the activations, all in on the community. And it's contagious, man. And it's a beautiful momentum effect. And I will say too, as a founder, in projects I've worked with too, momentum is something, you can't buy. You can't just, do one thing and just capitalize it and keep it going forever. It's exponential growth. And that comes from, blood, sweat, tears. I'll say the typical thing people say, but blood, sweat, tears invested in, the project, put that same effort in your community and it'll pay off tenfold. So no, man, always and forever. I love it.
Absolutely. There's one more thing, and this was unannounced, but I wanted to maybe just do a quick little secret release of a special track that got dropped to me by the one and only Des Modus. This is going to be our sign off today. If you guys don't know, Des is like kind of an amazing musician. So maybe you should go out and check Des Modus's X out, because he not only does posts and all this cool stuff about music on X, but also walks the walk and makes some pretty great music himself. So this is going to be our sign out today. This is Space from the Deep, episode 18. We're signing out with a special track called Where's Ebert, featuring Peblenstein, by the one and only Des Modus, an honorary Bert at that. We'll see you guys next week for Space from the Deep, episode 19. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you all, and happy Friday. Enjoy your weekends.
Hey yo, listen up, it's Pebblestein in the house. 2 heads, 1 mic, and a whole lot of questions. Where's Ebert? Where he from? Nobody knows. Let's go. Came out of nowhere, drifting through space. One day he's here, next gone without a trace. Some say he's cosmic, some say he's lost. Others claim he's a glitch in the blockchain sauce. Seen him in the jungle, seen him in the snow. Rumors say he once ran a metaverse show. Honorary Berts got the clues, I swear, but every time we ask, he just ain't there. Where's Ebert? Where he been? Jump through a portal, now we search again. Where's Ebert? Where he at? Yo, honorary Berts, y'all know that? Dinosaurs say he was chilling back then. Aliens claim he was one of their men. Some think he's data, a ghost in the chain, living in pixels, hiding in the mainframe. NFT, legend, digital ghost. Berts hold the secrets the most. We got HBO 50, we got rare ones too, but none of them know what our boy's been through. Yeah. One clue here, one clue there. He's everywhere, but ain't nowhere. 1 Bert, 2 Berts, then a whole crew. Still no answers, what we gon' do? Where's Ebert? Where he been? Jump through a portal, now we search again. Where's Ebert? Where he at? Yo, honorary Berts, y'all know that? Alright, this some X-Files type beat. We got theories, we got clues, but Ebert, that dude stay MIA. Find him. Find him, crack the code. Pebblestein got questions, let's unload. Find him, trace the line. Where's Ebert? Time to shine. If you see Ebert, tell him we waiting. Pebblestein out. Pebblestein out.